It's time we had an honest conversation. This isn't about anger, frustration, or vengeance. No, this is about power, clarity, and respect. Stop being nice for the sake of it. Niceness isn't a badge of honor when it comes at the expense of your dignity and self-respect. Let me break it down for you. 8 truths, 8 guiding lights to help you move from being nice to being respected. Setting boundaries is the foundation of self-respect and meaningful relationships. It is not an act of selfishness, but a declaration of self-worth. When you define what is acceptable and what is not, you give others a clear understanding of how to treat you. Boundaries are not about pushing people away. They're about building connections on mutual respect and understanding. They are the unseen lines that protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being. Without them, you risk losing yourself in the chaos of pleasing others. The first step in setting boundaries is recognizing your own needs and values. You must know what matters to you, what drains you, and what uplifts you. Self-awareness is the foundation of any boundary because you can't communicate what you don't understand. Take the time to reflect on your life. Who or what makes you feel diminished or overextended? Often the places where you feel resentment or frustration are clues that a boundary needs to be established. When you set a boundary, do it with clarity and firmness. There's no need to apologize or over-explain. Remember, no is a complete sentence. Too often, we sugarcoat our limits out of fear of conflict or rejection. But diluting your boundaries sends mixed signals. Be direct and confident in expressing your needs. The right people will understand, and those who don't respect your limits were likely benefiting from your lack of them. Enforcing boundaries is just as important as setting them. It's easy to declare a line, but when you allow people to cross it repeatedly, the boundary becomes meaningless. This doesn't mean you need to be confrontational. It means being consistent. If someone violates your boundary, address it immediately and firmly. People may test your limits, especially if they were used to you saying yes to everything. Stand firm, because consistency is key to being taken seriously. Boundaries don't make you unkind or unapproachable. They make you authentic and trustworthy. When you honor your own boundaries, you give others permission to do the same. You become a model of healthy relationships. People often respect those who respect themselves, even if they don't say it outright. Your boundaries set the tone for how you'll be treated. They're not about being liked, but about being valued. It's important to recognize that setting boundaries may make some people uncomfortable, especially if they were benefiting from your lack of them. This is a natural part of the process. Not everyone will respond well, but that doesn't mean you should backtrack. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. In fact, the people who truly care about you will respect your boundaries, even if it takes them a moment to adjust. Boundaries are not static. They may need to evolve over time as you grow and as relationships change. What worked for you last year may no longer serve you today. Regularly evaluate your boundaries and adjust them as needed. This ongoing process is a form of self-care, a way to ensure you remain aligned with your values and goals. Ultimately, boundaries are not about controlling others. They are about controlling your space, your energy, and your life. They are a gift you give yourself, an act of love and respect. When you set and maintain boundaries, you reclaim your power. You stop living in reaction to the demands of others and start living in alignment with your own truth. And when you stand firm in your truth, you become unstoppable. When you speak with confidence, you reclaim your voice as a tool of power rather than an instrument for seeking approval. Confidence in your words means you understand their value and purpose, regardless of how they are received by others. Too often, people dilute their truth in an effort to avoid conflict or gain favor. But when your speech comes from a place of authenticity, it doesn't need to be padded with unnecessary apologies, disclaimers, or validation seeking. Speaking with confidence begins with trusting yourself. Trust that what you have to say matters and carries weight. This trust stems from self-awareness, knowing what you stand for, what you believe in, and why you're speaking in the first place. A confident speaker isn't someone who knows everything, but someone who stands firm in their knowledge and perspective, open to dialogue, but unwilling to compromise their truth for approval. Your tone and delivery play a critical role in expressing confidence. Speaking clearly and assertively signals that you believe in what you're saying. Avoid shrinking your voice or softening your message to make others comfortable. Too many people fall into the trap of over-explaining, repeating themselves, or hedging statements with just or maybe because they fear being perceived as too direct. Strip those habits away. Speak deliberately and let your words carry their own weight. Confidence also means embracing the possibility of disagreement. Approval seeking leads to people-pleasing, often at the expense of your own integrity. But remember this, agreement isn't necessary for respect. It's okay if not everyone sees things your way. Your goal is not to win every heart. It's to command respect by speaking your truth unapologetically. This resilience strengthens your voice and helps build relationships based on authenticity rather than false harmony. Speaking with confidence requires clarity of thought. Before you speak, organize your ideas and decide what point you want to convey. This prevents rambling and gives your words precision and impact. Confident communication is about saying what you mean and meaning what you say. If you're clear within yourself, your audience will have no choice but to take you seriously. Listening is a critical component of confident speaking. Confidence isn't about dominating the conversation or proving you're always right. It's about knowing when to speak and when to listen. Listening attentively to others allows you to respond with relevance and authority rather than defensiveness or insecurity. Confident people are not afraid of silence. They use it strategically, knowing that their words will have even greater impact when timed well. Another layer of confidence comes from letting go of the need to explain your every move or decision. Over-explaining, especially when it isn't warranted, can weaken your position. Learn to say what you mean and leave it at that. The strength of your convictions does not depend on others' understanding. Trust that your actions and words stand strong without unnecessary justification. What a people see in habit is higher than the words that speak, giving them to the world of power. Ultimately, speaking with confidence is about embracing your authentic self. When you let go of approval seeking, you stop filtering your words through the lens of others' expectations. You speak not to please, but to express, inform, inspire, and sometimes challenge. Confidence in speech isn't loud or brash. It's steady, clear, and unwavering. When you own your voice, you remind the world and yourself that you deserve to be heard. Stop doing work that isn't yours. This is one of the hardest but most liberating lessons to learn. Too many people take on the burdens of others, thinking it's their responsibility to fix, manage, or carry everything that comes their way. But this mindset drains you of your energy and robs you of your time. Taking on what isn't yours doesn't make you a hero. It makes you a prisoner of others' responsibility. To truly thrive, you must let go of what doesn't belong to you. The first step in this process is identifying what's genuinely your responsibility. Not every problem that lands in your lap is yours to solve. Ask yourself, is this my task my role, or my issue to handle? If the answer is no, then you're carrying someone else's load, often to your own detriment. Recognizing the line between helping and overstepping is critical, because too often we take on work to gain approval or to avoid saying no. One of the main reasons people take on work that isn't theirs is guilt. You feel obligated to help because you don't want to let anyone down, or because you believe it's easier to do it yourself than to set boundaries. But guilt is a manipulative force that keeps you tethered to other people's responsibilities. Let it go. Helping someone doesn't mean doing the work for them. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let people handle their own issues. It's also important to recognize that by doing work that isn't yours, you deny others the opportunity to grow. When you constantly step in, you rob people of the chance to take accountability and learn valuable lessons. You may think you're helping, but in reality, you're enabling dependency. Growth happens when people are given the responsibility to solve their own problems, not when someone constantly steps in to rescue them. Saying no is an essential part of reclaiming your time and energy. It's not always easy, especially if you're someone who has been conditioned to say yes to everything. But no isn't a rejection of others. It's an affirmation of your own boundaries. When you say no to things that aren't yours, you create space to focus on what truly matters in your own life. Remember, every yes to something you shouldn't be doing is a no to your own priorities. This also applies to emotional work. Stop carrying emotional baggage that isn't yours. You are not responsible for managing others' feelings, fixing their insecurities, or smoothing over every conflict. It's natural to want to support the people you care about, but there's a difference between being a support system and becoming an emotional dumping ground. Protect your energy by recognizing what emotional labor is yours and what isn't. When you focus on your own work and let others handle theirs, you become more effective in what you do. You no longer stretch yourself thin by trying to solve problems that aren't yours to solve. This allows you to excel in your own tasks, projects, and goals. You're able to bring more clarity, focus, and passion to your life because you're not weighed down by burdens you were never meant to carry. Finally, remember that letting go of work that isn't yours is not selfish. It's necessary. You cannot pour from an empty cup. When you prioritize your own responsibilities and stop taking on what belongs to others, you set yourself free. You reclaim your power, your energy, and your life. And when you do this, you give others permission to do the same. Letting go of what isn't yours is a step toward not just personal success, but healthier relationships and a more fulfilling life. Value effort, not excuses. Effort is the currency of action and growth, the proof that someone is invested and willing to work toward a goal or a commitment. Excuses, on the other hand, are distractions, often elaborate justifications for why something didn't happen. They may sound convincing, but they add no real value. In any area of your life, relationships, work, or personal development, it's crucial to recognize the difference. Consistently prioritizing effort over excuses leads to stronger trust, clearer results, and a better understanding of who's truly aligned with you. Effort shows a person's true character. It's a reflection of their priorities, their willingness to show up, and their determination to follow through on their word. People who consistently put in effort, even when it's hard or inconvenient, demonstrate a sense of responsibility and reliability. Excuses, however, reveal a lack of ownership. They may sound reasonable at the moment, but they're often a cover for procrastination, indifference, or avoidance. When faced with either, always put your faith in tangible effort. Excuses create a cycle of stagnation. They might sound harmless. I didn't have time, things just didn't work out, or it wasn't the right moment. But over time, they pile up and lead to inaction. One excuse becomes another, and before you know it, progress halts. In contrast, consistent effort propels momentum. Even small steps forward are better than none. People who focus on effort learn from failures, adapt, and keep moving, while those relying on excuses stay stuck, replaying the same justification. In relationships, valuing effort is crucial for building trust and connection. Genuine effort fosters emotional security and shows that someone is invested in you. Whether it's through consistent communication, acts of kindness, or making time even in a busy schedule, effort is the foundation of mutual respect. Excuses, however, chip away at trust. I forgot, I didn't realize, or may be legitimate occasionally, but when they become patterns, they signal that the other person isn't prioritizing you or the relationship. Pay attention to who puts in the work, not who apologizes the best. Valuing effort also means leading by example. You can't expect others to prioritize effort if you're not doing the same. Show up for your commitments, follow through on your promises, and hold yourself accountable. When people see you leading with effort, they'll either rise to match your energy or reveal their unwillingness to meet you halfway. Your own consistency sets a standard and filters out those who are merely talkers. There's a difference between extending empathy and tolerating excuses. Life is messy, and sometimes legitimate circumstances arise that delay action or throw plans off course. It's important to offer grace when this happens. However, excuses become problematic when they overshadow effort entirely. Forgiveness should never come at the expense of accountability. A genuine person will acknowledge their shortcoming and work harder, while someone who clings to excuses will fall into the same patterns over and over. Valuing effort over excuses fosters a growth mindset, both in yourself and in others. Effort requires courage, vulnerability, and persistence, qualities that lead to improvement over time. Excuses, by contrast, keep people in a fixed mindset, reinforcing limitations rather than addressing challenges. When you prioritize effort, you encourage a culture of responsibility, resilience, and forward motion. Not about perfection, but about showing up and trying, even when things are tough. Ultimately, effort is the only real measure of commitment. Promises and words mean little without the work to back them up. Excuses might temporarily soothe tension or disappointment, but they cannot create progress or build trust. Focus on what people do, not what they say they'll do. In every part of your life, choose to value those who show up with consistent effort over those who hide behind excuses. This mindset not only protects your energy, but also aligns you with people and opportunities that truly deserve your time and attention. Walking away when it's necessary is one of the most powerful acts of self-respect you can practice. It requires courage to recognize when a situation, a relationship, or even an opportunity no longer serves you. Staying where you're undervalued or mistreated doesn't make you stronger. It drains your spirit and diminishes your worth. Walking away isn't about giving up. It's about choosing yourself over anything or anyone that refuses to meet you halfway. Too often, people hesitate to walk away out of fear. Fear of being alone, fear of judgment, or fear of uncertainty. But fear should never be the reason you stay in a situation that is harming you. Life requires us to face discomfort for growth, and walking away is no exception. It's not always easy, but the alternative, staying in a toxic or unfulfilling situation, comes at a much greater cost to your peace and progress. Walking away sends a clear message to the world about how you expect to be treated. It's a statement that you won't settle for less than you deserve, whether it's in relationships, friendships, work, or personal pursuits. People learn how to treat you based on what you tolerate. By walking away when necessary, you set a precedent that says you value yourself too much to accept anything less than mutual respect and fairness. Knowing when to walk away requires self-awareness. You have to recognize when a situation is taking more from you than it's giving. Whether it's a job where your efforts are unappreciated, a relationship that leaves you emotionally drained, or an environment that stifles your growth, listen to the signs. If something feels perpetually wrong despite your best efforts, it's time to evaluate whether staying is worth it. It's important to remember that walking away doesn't mean you didn't care or try. You can invest your heart, your energy, and your time into something and still have it not work out. Walking away is not a failure. It's an acknowledgement that your best wasn't enough to fix a broken situation. There is strength in knowing when to let go, especially when staying would require you to compromise your dignity or lose yourself in the process. Leaving can also create space for new opportunities and relationships to enter your life. When you hold on to what isn't meant for you, your hands are too full to grasp the blessings that are waiting just beyond your reach. Walking away allows you to reclaim your energy and redirect it toward pursuits and connections that align with your values and aspirations. It's an act of faith in yourself and in the belief that better things lie ahead. Some people may not understand your decision to walk away, and that's okay. Their opinions are not your reality. Your choice to leave doesn't need to be justified to anyone but yourself. Others are not living your life, feeling your pain, or carrying your burdens. Trust your instincts. And remember that your well-being is your responsibility, not theirs. Staying true to yourself means prioritizing what's best for you, even when others can't see the full picture. Ultimately, walking away is a way of reclaiming your power. It's a declaration that your time, energy, and happiness are not up for negotiation. You don't have to stay in a situation to prove your worth to others. Your worth is inherent, and staying where you're mistreated only diminishes it in your own eyes. When you walk away, you reaffirm your commitment to yourself. And that kind of self-love is what will lead you to the life you deserve. Don't give discounts on your value. The way you present and uphold your worth sets the tone for how others treat and respect you. When you lower your standards or compromise your value for the convenience or comfort of others, you send a message that you don't fully believe in what you bring to the table. Your skills, time, energy, and presence are priceless, and they deserve to be acknowledged without negotiation or reduction. When you stop discounting yourself, you elevate not only your position, but also the quality of opportunities and people around you. Far too often, people undercut their own worth to fit in, avoid conflict, or seek acceptance. This could mean saying yes to opportunities that pay less than what you deserve, accepting behaviors and relationships that cross your boundaries, or overextending yourself without fair recognition. Every time you compromise your value, you're training others to expect less from you and conditioning yourself to tolerate less. Recognizing your full worth is not arrogance. It's an act of self-respect and self-preservation. Understanding your value starts with knowing what you bring to the table. Reflect on your strengths, skills, achievements, and unique qualities. Everyone has something special to offer, and it's important to take stock of that regularly. When you are deeply aware of your own value, it becomes easier to set boundaries, negotiate fairly, and demand the respect you deserve. This awareness is your foundation, your anchor, especially in moments when external validation isn't immediately forthcoming. When you give discounts on your value, you often attract people in situations that undervalue you. Think about it. If you continuously over-deliver without proper recognition or accept less than your worth, you will naturally find yourself surrounded by those who take advantage of that dynamic. The more you stand firm in your value, the more you draw people, opportunities, and environments that align with that same level of respect and appreciation. Standing firm on your value requires courage. There will be moments when people resist your boundaries or try to haggle with your worth, whether it's in negotiations for work, emotional reciprocity in a relationship, or simple daily interactions. You may face pushback, but holding firm is not about being difficult. It's about sending a clear message that your time, energy, and effort are not up for discount. Those who genuinely value you will adjust to meet you where you stand, and those who don't will fade away. Making space for better. Not discounting your value also means being willing to walk away. Sometimes you will be offered less than you deserve, and the temptation to settle can be strong, especially when the stakes feel high or options seem limited. But settling never leads to fulfillment. It only breeds resentment, frustration, and regret. Walking away is not always a loss. It's often a gain in disguise. By stepping away from situations that don't honor you, you create space for opportunities that do. Maintaining your value requires consistency. You cannot reinforce your worth in one moment and then waver the next. Consistency in how you set your standards and hold others accountable sends a message that you take your value seriously. People will begin to understand that you are unwavering when it comes to what you deserve. And over time, they will respect you more for it. Be mindful of your patterns. Every decision either reinforces your value or diminishes it. Ultimately, not giving discounts on your value is an act of self-love. It's about respecting yourself so deeply that you refuse to accept anything less than what you're worth. This isn't just about finances or external accolades. It's about how you see yourself and how you allow others to see you. The world responds to the energy you emit. If you carry yourself like you're valuable, people will treat you accordingly. Protect your value, and the rewards, both internal and external, will follow. Cultivating self-respect daily is a transformative practice that shapes how you view yourself and how others perceive and interact with you. Self-respect is not a trait you acquire once and keep forever. It's an ongoing commitment to honoring your own worth, boundaries, and values. Every decision you make, every action you take, either reinforces or diminishes your self-respect. This process doesn't happen overnight, but grows stronger with daily effort and consistency. Self-respect begins with the choices you make. Each day you have the opportunity to act in ways that align with your values and goals. This means saying no when something feels wrong or uncomfortable, even if it's inconvenient. It means prioritizing your needs without guilt and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. Each boundary you set, each time you choose to act in alignment with your principles, you strengthen your foundation of self-respect. Taking care of yourself is another essential aspect of cultivating self-respect. This involves more than just the basics of health and hygiene. It means treating yourself like someone who is worthy of love and care. Eat nourishing food, exercise, rest when needed, and take care of your emotional well-being. When you prioritize your physical and mental health, you send yourself a powerful message. You matter. This care is not indulgence, but an act of respect for the body and mind that carry you through life. Accountability is a key ingredient in self-respect. This doesn't mean being overly critical of yourself, but rather owning your actions, decisions, and mistakes. When you take responsibility for your choices without blaming others or making excuses, You affirm your strength and integrity. Being accountable builds trust within yourself, showing that you can rely on your own judgment and learn from your experiences. Your self-talk plays a significant role in shaping your self-respect. Pay attention to how you speak to yourself in moments of difficulty or success. Harsh, self-critical thoughts chip away at your confidence, while encouraging constructive thoughts build it up. Speak to yourself with kindness and understanding, much like you would to a close friend. Cultivating a positive inner dialogue reinforces your belief in your abilities and reminds you of your inherent worth. Surrounding yourself with respectful, supportive relationships is equally important. The people in your life should contribute positively to your sense of self and reflect the respect you have for yourself. Avoid relationships where you feel undervalued, disrespected, or drained. Your connections should enhance your self-respect, not diminish it. By holding others to the same standard of respect you demand from yourself, you ensure that your environment aligns with your values. Making time for self-reflection is another vital part of daily self-respect. Take a few moments each day to assess whether your actions align with your goals and values. Reflect on situations where you felt proud of yourself as well as moments where you might have compromised. Use this reflection to adjust your behavior and reaffirm your commitment to your growth. Self-respect isn't about perfection, it's about persistence and progress. Lastly, celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Acknowledge the steps you take each day to respect and honor yourself. Did you say no to something that didn't serve you? Celebrate that. Did you prioritize rest instead of overextending yourself? That's worth recognizing. Celebrating these moments strengthens your self-respect and reminds you that progress is worth acknowledging. By cultivating self-respect daily, you create a life that reflects your true worth, empowering you to walk through the world with strength and confidence. Lead with purpose, not pettiness, because how you approach life defines the quality of your impact. Purpose-driven leadership stems from clarity, vision, and a genuine desire to create meaningful change, while pettiness is rooted in ego, insecurity, and short-term thinking. When you act from a place of purpose, you elevate yourself and those around you, creating momentum and building trust. Acting out of pettiness, however, diminishes your credibility and leaves little room for respect or growth. Mm-hmm. Purposeful leadership begins with self-awareness. You must understand what drives you at your core and align your actions with those deeper motivations. When your decisions stem from a meaningful cause or a long-term vision, they carry weight and integrity. In contrast, pettiness distracts from what truly matters. Focusing on small grievances, minor slights, or meaningless competitions diminishes your power and narrows your influence. Ground yourself in something larger than fleeting emotions and watch your focus and presence expand. And a leader who leads with purpose understands the value of long-term thinking. Pettiness thrives in immediate reactions, a need to get the last word, prove a point, or outdo someone in a moment. But these reactions rarely achieve anything meaningful. Leadership fueled by purpose asks, what am I building? What legacy am I leaving? It prioritizes actions that contribute to broader goals, fostering environments where growth, collaboration, and resilience can flourish. Pettiness often comes from a place of insecurity, a need to overcompensate or control. Purposeful leaders rise above personal ego. They don't waste energy keeping score or worrying about how others measure up against them. Instead, they invest their energy in uplifting others, developing strategies, and solving problems. Purpose-driven actions reflect strength and confidence, while pettiness signals fragility and self-doubt. The choice to lead with purpose demonstrates stability and trustworthiness. Purposeful leadership prioritizes relationships. It seeks to build bridges, not tear them down over trivial matters. When you act out of pettiness, harboring grudges, or making passive-aggressive moves, you risk alienating the people who could support your mission or amplify your efforts. By leading with purpose, you show others that you value collaboration and respect. This approach fosters loyalty and creates a foundation where people feel empowered to bring their best to the table. Leading with purpose also means staying composed in moments of conflict or challenge. Pettiness often emerges in stressful situations, tempting you to focus on insignificant battles or personal jabs. However, maintaining your composure and addressing challenges with integrity not only strengthens your position, but also inspires confidence in those who look to you for guidance. Purposeful leadership acknowledges challenges without letting them cloud judgment or distract from the bigger picture. One of the most critical aspects of purpose-driven leadership is the ability to inspire others. People gravitate toward those who act with clarity, integrity, and genuine intention. Pettiness, on the other hand, repels. It creates toxicity and diminishes respect. When you lead with purpose, you become a magnet for collaboration, innovation, and dedication. Others see your commitment to the greater good and are naturally motivated to align with your vision. Ultimately, leading with purpose, not pettiness, is about legacy. What do you want to be remembered for? You want to leave behind a reputation for being bitter and short-sighted, or for creating meaningful impact through thoughtful actions. Purposeful leadership ensures that your efforts contribute to something lasting and significant. When you anchor your decisions in values rather than ego, you not only succeed on a personal level, but also inspire change in the people and spaces around you. Lead with purpose, and the path you create will leave an enduring mark. In the end, the way you lead, whether in your career, relationships, or personal growth, defines the legacy you leave behind. Leading with purpose over pettiness is a choice you make daily, a commitment to rise above fleeting emotions and trivial battles in pursuit of something far greater. It requires strength, focus, and the courage to align your actions with your values. By choosing purpose, you build trust, foster growth, and inspire those around you to aim higher. The impact you create will ripple beyond you, leaving behind not just accomplishments, but a story of integrity, vision, and meaningful leadership. So stand firm, stay clear, and always choose purpose. It's the path that leads to true fulfillment and enduring success.